But if I were to get married to a man, I would only be marrying a man who is putting land, properties, and assets in my name.
Man to man, brother to brother, women aren't that special.
Bro, you look like a big toe.
Because I don't talk to idiots. You know what I'm saying? That's idiotic behaviour. Be very intentional when you're dating.
When I tell you, this is why I don't do Hinge, because men are weird. I'm sorry.
Well, that question. Are we at the point of no return? I'm talking
of a kind that we have never seen before.
the time when it becomes no longer possible to go back to a certain place or state. You are here right now because you can sense what I'm feeling.
Losing his mind.
If you live in the UK, you've already reached the point of no return. Welcome back. I hope you're ready.
I see you're expecting again.
I am, yes.
What number's this?
Number 4.
Good Lord, 4?
I know. There must be something in the air.
Yeah, probably your legs.
I need you all to buckle up and get ready for story time because wow, just wow. So your girl over here thought it'd be a good idea to download Hinge. Here's the proof. There's me looking all cute, a lot cuter than I look now. But I thought, you know what, Hannah, you're not going to meet someone by just sitting in your house and not going out all the time. You need to actually be proactive about it. So I thought, I'm going to download Hinge. And I downloaded Hinge. When I tell you, this is why I don't do Hinge, because men are weird. I'm sorry. I'm going to put it out there. I think you're all weird, right? So she downloaded Hinge. Let's get into the story. Buckle the okay? Buckle up, because it's a good story. You are welcome. So we started getting some likes through, and we didn't start off overly strong, but I thought, do you know what? No problem. So we got a couple of likes. We got this guy. Then we got Carlos. Carlos, really nice. The grip on that is intense, but not for me. Nice guy, but not for me. We then got this lovely guy, very nice face, looks really sweet, but has one Burberry shirt and is absolutely obsessed with it. Fine, no problem. So we didn't start off great, but I thought, do you know what? We're just gonna keep going. And then we got a match. Okay? And we then got a match from this guy. Great. My type. Got a cute dog, really sweet. He started with the opening liner of "You are beautiful." Fantastic, thank you so much. Obviously I look a little bit better on Hinge than I do right now, but great, everything was going great. I thought, do you know what, great guy, my type, sweet. He's actually 40, which is quite old for me because I like a younger boy, if anybody knows me, but he's got a cute dog, so I thought this is great. And I was proud of myself that I'd matched with a 40-year-old because I originally was going to go like 25 because it's my vibe. However, I thought, do you know what, Hannah, no, we're going to go older. We're going to give the older generation a shot and we're going to see what they got. So we matched with this guy. And then within 4 minutes, went down. And I'm still confused to this day, if I'm honest. But let me tell you the story. Okay, so here's just another cute photo of him and his dog. So he's got 2 photos on there of him and his dog. What's she gonna do? She's gonna talk about the dog because I actually have a very cute picture. Let me show you. So I have this photo of Albie on my Hinge profile. Do you know why I put a picture of my dog on it? Because not only does he look bloody adorable, but great conversation starter. We've both got a dog. Let's talk about the dog. It is a great conversation starter, and anybody that puts a picture of their dog on their Hinge wants to talk about their dog, surely, yeah? So me being me, I thought, you know what? Cute picture of my dog, cute picture of your dog. Let's chat about our dogs. Great, let's go. So I'm just going to keep us on here while I tell the story, just so you can picture the vibe. So he starts and he says, "You are beautiful," as he matches me. I thought, lovely, thank you so much. I replied to him and I said, "Thank you so much, I appreciate that." I then said, "Let's get down to the important questions." He said, "Okay, no worries. I wish I had a screenshot to prove all this, but you're just going to have to believe me because by the time I went to screenshot it, it'd all been over." I said, "Thank you so much, appreciate that. Let's get down to the important questions." He said, "Go ahead." I said, "What's your dog called?" "What's your dog called?" He responded and he said, whatever the dog was called, to be honest, can't remember. "What's your name, mate?" "Can't remember." "Rupert." Rupert. The dog was actually called Rupert. He said, "Dog's called Rupert. But a bit of a touchy subject because he came up to stay with me for 5 weeks while I moved up north, and now he's actually gone back down to London, so I'm quite sad about it. I thought, do you know what? Sweet, you've opened up. We've had a chat about the dog. You've opened up. That's great. I thought, I actually really respect that. And you've really started the conversation with the dog, and we're talking about the dog. He then said, what's your dog called? What's your dog called? So I said, great, this is great. We're going to talk about the dogs. This is fantastic. So I then went to reply, and I said, I'm really sorry to hear that. I put a little broken heart emoji, you know, just to like really show the sympathy. I'm really sorry to hear that. Sad times or something, broken heart emoji. And then I said, my dog's called Albie. Maybe we can share. Okay? Comment now if you think that's wrong. Let me know if so far I've done something wrong, because so far I thought that was all right. Okay? So then I sent the messages and it said cannot send at this point. So I thought that's weird. Maybe it's my Wi-Fi. I was on a walk. Tried again, refreshed it, tried again. Could not send at this time. Thought that's weird. I closed Hinge. I reopened Hinge. He had unmatched me. He had unmatched me. Please tell me why. Why did you think that it wasn't okay for me to say, sorry to hear that, mate. My dog's called Albie. What did I do wrong? I'm confused. I don't understand. I don't get it. Did I do something wrong? Do you have a girlfriend and you just realise, why did you just trauma dump on me and then dart? I'm confused. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, I do not do Hinge, because what the f*** was that about? And you think I'm going to keep going. So now I keep getting likes off people with dogs, and I think that's cute. Let's start a conversation about your dog, but I'm scared now. I'm scared to say the wrong thing about your dog. So please let me know in the comments what the f*** I did wrong, because I'm confused. And this is why online dating is not for me. It doesn't work for me. Also, mate, no offence, but you're 40, sort your f***ing life out. Just saying.
Hannah Kate Norbert. I enjoyed listening to that story, you know. And Hannah, if you're watching, you didn't do anything wrong. Anyone posting a picture with a dog, for me, is a swipe left, but it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about this guy who couldn't be patient enough to just wait for a reply. Really though, mentally, you're not ready for a relationship. If you can't wait for someone to reply, then seriously, you need to get some help. There are millions of reasons why somebody couldn't reply to your message within 5 minutes, half an hour. There's millions of reasons. Just get on with your life. And when I say get on with your life, I don't mean you have to unmatch. That's a bit wet. But truthfully, this is not a bad thing for Hannah, because she actually dodged the bullet. Meeting him would have ended in fireworks, obviously. Now, this one experience doesn't mean that all men are weird. That would be a silly thing to say. So if you're just going to give up on the first hurdle, the first weirdo that you meet, you're just going to give up, then really you shouldn't be dating either. You could probably say that both parties in this situation were just a little bit too touchy.
Man to man, brother to brother, women aren't that special. And when I say that, I don't mean women are below men or that they shouldn't be respected. But just because a woman is visually attractive with a pulse, it does not mean she is special. As men, it doesn't give you a reason to put her on a pedestal above you. You see, most men see an attractive woman and think with what's between their legs and not their brain. Many women in this world are attractive. There is an abundance of beautiful women. But what we must realize as men is that doesn't make her special. That doesn't make her worthy of our energy, time, and commitment. Most men will meet a woman like this and think, I need to keep her around. That comes from a place of desperation and lack. You should be asking yourself, is this person worth keeping around? Giving accolades before they're shown is the fastest way to lose respect from a woman and for yourself. A man who has true self-worth and value doesn't do this. He gets to know her as a person and understands her values and morals and how she conducts herself as a person. He questions, can this person add to my life, to what I've already given to myself? And only then does he make a decision on if this woman is worthy of his energy. The moment you make a woman feel special for just barely existing, for her God-given looks, she will know she can walk all over you.
Facts on top of facts. Articulated very well, Raj. What you've just heard is just facts on top of more facts, as I just said. As already stated, just because just because he said that women are not that special, it doesn't mean that we think that women are worthless, because most of us were raised by women. You know, we've got mothers, we've got sisters, you know, we've got family. So when we say that women are not special, don't look at it emotionally. Look at what the person's actually saying. So I don't know if you remember, in a previous video, there was a guy that said, you need to approach women in the street because that will help you to build confidence. Now, some people agreed with that guy in the comment section of that video, but I disagree. I disagree based on basically what Raj has just said in that video. Because if you need to approach women in the street to help you build confidence, then that means you think women are special. But I must finish with this and just get to the next clip. To all the men watching, yeah, you know when you see an attractive woman in the street, just remember, that's just another human of the opposite sex. That's how you build confidence.
Do you think women are happier than they were 40 years ago?
I think I would have a few responses to that. I think that women report more stress and dissatisfaction today because, not because they have more rights or because of feminism, but because they're under dual pressure to both excel professionally and also because of the domestic labor in homes that is structured around outdated expectations.
You would agree, objectively, study after study, survey after survey, that the women of the West that are married and have children, especially a lot of children, are far happier than even the ones that earn more money correlated at the same age. The women in the West have it the best in the world, and yet they're way unhappier than women of sub-Saharan Africa. There's something fundamentally wrong here, because the women of sub-Saharan Africa have something that a lot of women in the West do not have. The women in the West have cats and they have good jobs, and the women of sub-Saharan Africa, they have a belief in the divine and they have kids. I'm not here to require you to do anything or not. I'm making a simple observation, which is objectively true regardless. The women of the West are miserable, and they're miserable for a reason, because we've told them to suppress how they are made by God and pursue something else and get a bunch of trinkets and get a bunch of promotions, and they end up at 38 years old with a big flat in London, and they're miserable. And we should tell them to stop freezing their eggs and start finding their partner earlier and have lots of babies.
Wow. Jesus. Charlie. This was not a fair debate. This was not a fair debate at all. Now, Charlie asked the question, and I don't know this woman's name, but it was a bit strange that she was reading from something that she written down previously. Now, I don't know about you, but how can you have pre-written answers to questions that have not been asked yet?
Got him! Got him!
Maybe I'm just, yeah. This wasn't even a debate, this was a mulling. And you know, if I'm ever in a debate or an argument and somebody throws multiple facts at me, then I just always accept, because for me, a debate or an argument, it's not about who won or who's winning. It's about understanding the other person and understanding just more information about the world, because we all know different things about the world that the other person doesn't know. So that's how I see a debate. But this one was a bit, yeah. I think we need to reload this little part here.
The women of the West are miserable, and they're miserable for a reason, because we've told them to suppress how they are made by God and pursue something else and get a bunch of trinkets and get a bunch of promotions, and they end up at 38 years old with a big flat in London, and they're miserable. And we should tell them to stop freezing their eggs and start finding their partner earlier and have lots of babies.
Jesus. Let me know your thoughts. I'm intrigued.
Got a question for you. There's a brother asking here, should he get married from back home or the UK?
I've got a story for you. One of my mates, he got married. She's from the UK. Imagine this. You've done a long day graft at work, full 10-hour shift, come home, your head's fried. All you want to do is, like me, put your feet up, watch a bit of TV, just wind down. Your wife isn't working, let's say she's off work, or she's just a housewife. What happened here, he's come home, full 10-hour shift, he said to his wife, I'm really hungry, can you put something together? So he sat down, feet up, explained to me why his wife, educated, she's gone in the kitchen, on the table, beans and toast. He's done a 10-hour shift and she's put beans and toast. You know, beans from a can and bread. What is she bringing to the table? I spoke to him the next day and he brought it up. He goes, yeah, this is what happened in it. I'm like, what? You're gonna put up with that? Beans and toast? That's what happens when you marry women from here who think they're educated. What are you bringing to the table? The women are not the women that we used to have back in the day.
He said, should he marry a woman from back home or marry a woman from the UK? But it didn't actually say where back home was. But I'm very familiar with the place I was born. And this place is... Some guys look at me funny sometimes when I say I prefer not to date girls from the UK. And then you see stories like this. And I know guys that are in relationships and I see them go through certain things and I think to myself, you were looking at me funny when I said that. And I see the bullshit that you go through in your relationship. Yep, okay. Now obviously there's still some good girls left in the UK. It's not all bad. But when you put on the TV and you see things like this.
Get to the airport and get out. The government's advice to British citizens.
It doesn't give me much hope, if you know what I'm saying. Beans on toast. You know what? I don't know if I believe this story, you know. I don't know if I believe this story because how do you marry someone without knowing whether they can cook or not? That doesn't seem... I mean, tell me in the comments, am I missing something here? Is he talking about an arranged marriage?
That is bullshit.
That would explain it, but even then, wouldn't the parents pick somebody? Look, I don't know. I need help with that one.
I think it's getting to a point, ladies and gentlemen, where I feel men should just date themselves. Date themselves. As soon as I come on this app, there's a man in his crusty boxers talking about they don't like this, they don't like that. I've just seen someone say, I don't like the dark rims that girls put on their lips, which is called lip liner, by the way. Babes, you don't like this, you don't like that. What exactly in a female do you like other than her pum-pum? Do you even like that? Because you just might as well just date a man and just get it over and done with.
So basically the point here is that men are not allowed to have a preference. Men are not allowed to like what they like. Because if a man has a preference, then he should just go and date other men.
That mad bumbleclad girl doing.
Yeah, okay.
Alright. Now this video is dating is a waste of money. Now before I start, because I know you lot love to twist my words, if it is your girlfriend or your wife or your woman that you are locked in with, you've been dating intentionally, you lot have even started to think of baby names, date to your heart's content. See that woman 5 times a week if you want to. Yeah, that's different. But I'm talking about dating around. Now you see, we live in a time, yeah. It's not like my parents' time or my grandparents' time. We live in a time, yeah, where escorting or soft escorting is normal. You see, in the times we live in, unless you want to have access to a woman in that way, you have to spend money. That's the era we live in. That's just the way it goes. So a lot of men know that if they want to get physical with a woman, to put it nicely, you gotta spend. It's like when you go to the arcade. You're only allowed to play if you push your coins in. That's the era we live in. However, how are you gonna save, big man? How are you gonna own anything? How are you gonna have anything in this life? You're not. How do you think a lot of these women are taking pictures with their keys in their kitchen and they're funding their businesses? And they just got money that's long like the Jubilee line. Because all you dodo birds are spending while she's saving. That's not even your girl like that. That's just a girl that you're just chatting to. You see, if you're gonna start to date a woman and start to spend money and do whatever, talk to her for at least 3 weeks to a month. Pen pal her off. Have a conversation. See if that's someone you actually vibe with and rock with. Because I've been out here, and when I look around, you're seeing guys and women on a dinner table. One's on their phone, the other's staring into the sky. They've got nothing in common but money's being spent. You see what I'm saying? And you need to ask yourself, as a man, what are you spending all this bread on women for? Is it so you can brag to your bridges and say, yeah, I touched that one and I touched that one? That's all well and good, but I promise you, after the age of 21, and no one cares how much girls you get, my brother. You see, if I've got a boy now and he sends me a picture of a girl, he says, yeah, bro, that's what I'm doing a thing with. He won't hear from me for like 2 weeks because I don't talk to idiots. You know what I'm saying? That's idiotic behavior. Be very intentional when you're dating. Like I said, if that is a girl you intend to wife off, if that is a girl that you are locked in with, make it rain. Do you understand? Rain. But if that's just some random little so-and-so, and you're just trying to creep in between her legs, my brother, keep your money in your pocket. And do not let these girls make you feel bad. Let them call you stingy. Let them call you broke. Do you understand? Let them compare you to their old man. It don't matter. Because you need to flip the switch. You need to say to her, hold on, if you're so used to playing for Real Madrid, why have you come to Sheffield Wednesday? You know it's a small club. You know we can't afford your salary. Why are you here? Do you understand? Go back to Real Madrid if that's what you're used to. You don't need to have some boundaries and some backbone. Do you understand? What have I been teaching you for months on TikTok? Don't fall in love, stand in love. Do you understand? And you know the first way you stand in love? By being wise with your money. What are your priorities? What do you want? Do you have business plans? Do you have things you need to do? When you pattern that and you've got disposable income that's left over, then you can spend it to go enjoy yourself. But guys are going in debt. Do you understand? In debt, crushing debt to fake a lifestyle for these women. Dating is a waste of money. Save your pound. Have stuff. Do you know how much men, especially young black men from the ends, are never going to own a house? They're never going to have anything. They're never going to own businesses because they're too focused on spending their money on image. I'm going to finance a car that's killing me every month. I'm going to take all these different women on dates so I can feel like the guy. And when it's all over, you're just dealing with stories from the past. I'm telling you. All you're going to have is stories about the girls you used to deal with. The cars you used to drive. You do not want to be Mr. Used to. You don't. Own things. Do you understand? Things that can be passed on. Own stuff. Do you understand? And when you do that, then it's whatever. So like I said, dating is a waste of money. It's time to get like Julius and Mr. Krabs around here. Yeah? It's Julius season. It's Mr. Krabs season. That's what we're on.
This clip here from DD Gray 10. Now, there's a lot said here still. There's a lot said here. A lot of truth as well. I see a lot of men dating, getting into relationships with no real purpose. And then they end up in problems that didn't need to be there. The only thing I'll disagree with what he said was about the past stories, because owning things is good. Obviously, that's part of the goal. We want to be able to own stuff. That is all good. But in life, it's not always about the goal. The journey is also important. So there will be a time in your life where all those material things, they're not as important, because you want to be able to look back and say that you've had an enjoyable life. So go out there and experience women, but don't be flexing. Don't be trying to spend all your money on women, you know, when you're not in the place you want to be already.
Here's the problem, ladies. You're not telling men what they really are. You're saying, oh, you're calling men that look like a foot mid. Oh, he's alright. Oh, he's mid. He's okay. No, he's not. Tell him what the he is. Ugly. You're ugly, and that's fine. But we shouldn't be. We're raising their confidence. Yeah, when in actual fact, it needs lowering. Lower the confidence. Yeah, tell them, bro, you look like a big toe. It's been all f***ed up, ran over. You look like you've been chased in parked cars, face all squashed up in it. You look, it's not good. And we've got to stop telling them. Stop saying, oh yeah, you know, oh, he's not great, but, babe, he's not great, he's rank. Why are you even saying that? Tell him. Ugly ass.
Now you see with this clip here, yeah,
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I truly think it's wrong to call people ugly. This clip from Saby Baby with 3 Ys. Unattractive to you, yes. Not your type, yes. But ugly? Nah, I think we should walk with a bit more integrity to call people ugly. Be very, 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 very careful, yeah. When you go online and you start calling people ugly, because as soon as you do that, instantly, people start to highlight your flaws. And believe me, I could have said a lot more on this clip here, but I don't need to. I don't need to, because you can see what I can see already. The internet doesn't really care about feelings, so just be careful what you say, man. Be careful what you say.
I don't know if you've seen the latest stunt by Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue's petting zoo. So like David Blaine, she's going to go into a glass box and be tied up and then just open to abuse by 2,000 men. Who the f goes to these things in the first place? But mate, she must have a minge like a punch lasagna by now, and she's asking people to come and stretch her out and use all her holes. Stretch her out? What are you going to turn up with, a lamppost? Mate, that is Jimmy Savile's daughter. It's got to be. It's an absolute slosh pot, and anyone who turns up there to sort that out, you need f***ing help.
Stop it. Stop it, man says Jimmy Savile. I'm not even going to repeat that. I'm not even going to repeat that. JK74. Now, I've already said this, yeah, but I'll say it again. I'm not going to bash Bonnie Blue, because it's clear and obvious that she's already fully bashed out already.
Got it!
My focus here is on the men, because bro, think about it seriously. Mentally, why are you sponsoring this sort of activity? Really though, it's men like this that are contributing to the problem of the dating market, because mentally, you guys are at the point of no return. Trust me. Trust me.
Someone said to me, if I get bigger, they're not talking to me anymore. How about you get bigger? How about when you have fucking, you know, how about you get bigger first? I think it's a you issue. It's not a me thing. I think it's a you thing. Just saying. How about you get bigger? Yeah. And stop putting your insecurities on me. How about that? Because, like, you're just jealous. Your shoulders, tricep, it could never.
This video from It's Faz Juff. JOOF. Once again, this one sounds like if a man's got a preference, he needs to change and stop putting his insecurities on. That's what I got from what she just said there. I'm guessing she's talking about a man because, well, she said someone, so don't really know who she's talking about. But I don't really know men who like muscly girls either. So if she's talking about a man, then nobody knows who she's talking about. She didn't give much context. Which makes me think sometimes why people do these videos. You upload a video about an issue, hoping to get a response that may help your issue, but you don't give much context to the issue. Love is an emotion that clouds logic and reason. Don't be a lemon. Until next time, peace.
She ain't even mine. I've never had to go anywhere, cause she's got what I need, my undercover lover. I saw potential in another brother's baby mother. You're judging me, but you don't.